What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
Oh my! I didn't want to do the BlueNote Fan Report. Oh my! Ah! Do a Kevin. Holy moly's! Wow! And we didn't do a show today for a couple different reasons, but Justin should be popping on here. He wants to do a post-game show. I do too. Oh my goodness. I don't know if he put it out. And if he didn't, I'm gonna put it on here. The 1-minute video that I put out today. Because you need to hear what I said. I got everything right about one thing. One thing I missed. I'm freaking real, guys. Unfreaking real. I'm gonna try and put this video, see if I can get this video up. Give me just a second. I don't think we posted a video today, and we may not if it happens. No, he works. I have my moments. This is more the TikTok's more Justin than me. I do some of it, but not much. Need to get better with it, and I admit that. I just sometimes I don't know. Oh, wow. Laura sold the winning 50-50 ticket. Way to go, girl. Way to go, girl. Hold on a second. I'm going to play for you the video I did on the pregame today. I want you to listen to it and watch it. I really do. Just sit and listen to it and then tell me what you think about how right or wrong I was. Right? Hopefully Justin pops in here in a few moments. Here we go. I got to get the right button. I can't listen to him because I didn't put it on I just had my soundboard off. So forgive me for that. Here we go. This is the video that I did today. I want you guys to listen to it and tell me what you think. Here we go. Are you ready? Hope so. I think you can hear me when I'm off. Here we go. Uh-oh. What's going on? Volume. Okay.
Edmonton Oilers. Going to make it short and sweet.
Here we go. Replay it.
Thank you, Justin, and aloha, Blues Nation. This is Guy, the Wild Blues fan, with my predictions for our game against the Edmonton Oilers. Going to make it short and sweet. Both teams coming off back-to-backs. Could mean a sloppy game. I think a sloppy game is good favors the Blues more than the Oilers. The Oilers predicate theirs on a very tight style, little free-flowing, quick offensive. Sloppy doesn't work. I think the Blues could win this one, but I don't think they will. Low-scoring game, 3-2 Oilers. Player to watch, I think it's going to be Hoffer tonight. He lost that. He had a 3-goal lead and blew it, and now he's facing one of the best offensive teams in the league. So Oilers 3-2, Hoffer. Check out the BlueNote Fan Report. Don't think there'll be a show tonight. Could be. We'll see. Aloha.
Well, there you go. That was my pregame, what I was looking at. No, actually, I was right about the score. I just got the teams reversed. I said sloppy game. This was a sloppy game, right? It was a sloppy game all around. And I also said that I thought that the sloppy game would favor the Blues. If it would have been like a 2-1 game, the Blues, I would have said the Blues won that. The only reason that I thought that the Edmonton was going to win was maybe a little emotion or whatever coming off the game from Carolina. That had a little emotion to it, right? And let's bring him in. Are you ready, sir?
What's going on, Sunshine?
Hey, this is your show. You asked for this, and I'm not gonna. I played my video. Right?
Did you?
And I'm gonna play it again because I don't
okay,
know
yeah, play it again.
Do you remember
play
what
that
I said
again.
in my video?
No, like you said, and I apologize, I didn't get that video out. But like I said, I was that coworker thing. I was doing that. I didn't have time to do it. So
I'm gonna play my video again.
Yeah, no. I know what you said. I know what your prediction was, and your prediction was wrong. But I'm thankfully glad it was wrong.
Well,
I mean, the score was right, but the winner was wrong.
Right? It wasn't that wrong. So here's my video. I'm going to play it one more time. Everybody listen to the video and then reflect on the game and tell me what you think. Here we go.
Thank you, Dustin, and aloha, Blues Nation. This is Guy, the Wild Blues fan, with my predictions for our game against the Edmonton Oilers. Going to make it short and sweet. Both teams coming off back-to-backs. Could mean a sloppy game. I think a sloppy game is good for favors the Blues more than the Oilers. The Oilers predicate theirs on a very tight style, little free-flowing, quick offensive. Sloppy doesn't work. I think the Blues could win this one, but I don't think they will. Low-scoring game, 3-2 Oilers. Player to watch, I think it's going to be Hoffer tonight. He lost that. He had a 3-goal lead and blew it, and now he's facing one of the best offensive teams in the league. So Oilers 3-2, Hoffer. Check out the BlueNote Fan Report. Don't think there'll be a show tonight. Could be. We'll see. Aloha.
Well, that was my video, right?
Yeah, it was a fantastic video. Like I said, I apologize, I didn't get that video out, and actually, I listened to it myself, but I didn't get my side of it out, and I didn't get a video out. But the prediction, the score prediction, right on. The winner of who actually won this game was wrong, but the game itself, it could have went either way. But I have many thoughts in this game, and some you may, who knows, you may shock the hell out of me, and you may agree with all of my opinions in this game, and there may be one that you disagree with. I don't know, but
I have a feeling I know what that one is.
What?
You're gonna go on the refs a little bit.
Well, and see, the thing is for me, right? Okay, look, I'm gonna hold back a little bit, and I will. And this wasn't like some egregious thing, right? But I wanna point this out. Okay, so the Blues did not get a power play in this game until 48 minutes into this game. So in the third period was their first power play in this game. They should have been on the power play at least once before that, and they were not. So, yes, I do have an issue with that, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with the first penalty they took, which was a delay of game penalty. This was the right call. But then you get into the other ones. The second one, a little weaker on the weaker side. The third one absolutely should have been embellishment by Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid dives on the ice. This was not a penalty. This was an embellishment by Connor McDavid, and it should have been called both ways. If you want to call tripping, fine, but you should have called Connor McDavid for embellishment. It was clearly embellishment. So again, I'm gonna hone back on it, but my biggest issue in this game, which could have costed the Blues, and it luckily did not, Dylan Holloway in the 3-on-3 overtime gets tripped on the way to the net. Should have been a penalty, was not called. And then on top of this, the reason that this is so magnified to me is because the announcers were god awful. They were terrible. They were terrible. They were sitting there. I don't know. I believe is it AJ Malesko who was on the call tonight? The girl, the woman on the call tonight.
I don't know. I actually had bad mental day. It's one of the reasons I didn't do a show. You and me talk. You and me talk. You know what goes on with me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the game. I actually have the game on one TV, my game that I'm playing, trying to get my mind straight on another TV, and then I have the World Baseball Classic on the third TV in the living room. So I was walking between, and I had the volume down on all three of them. Right?
Okay. Well, let me tell you something, guy. You avoided a disgraceful play-by-play tonight, and we talk about it. We've talked about this before. The national games are a joke. They're an absolute joke, and I'm so glad that the Blues took it upon themselves to ruin their narrative tonight. And I don't know the guy. I don't remember the guy. I know he's been on the. He is pretty knowledgeable, and I'll give him a little bit of slack. At least he will kind of dive into being unbiased for both teams. But I believe it's AJ Malesko who is the woman on the call. And don't get me wrong. Don't make this political. Don't make this, Justin is against women and against equality. It's nothing like that. AJ Malesko, if that is who this was on the call, is the most biased fucking commentator I've ever seen in my life. The fact that we saw some of the things that she said tonight, like Logan Mailloux when he took a trip, that second trip, and he put his hands up in the air because it was kind of a weak call on the second one. And she says something like, "Oh, well, yeah, Logan, you can't do that." But you can't do that, Logan. You can't do that, Logan. But then you have Connor, and then you talk about, and then at the end of the game, AJ Malesko's talking about, or at the end of regulation, she's talking about, the Blues had a power play and it was abysmal. Did you watch the Edmonton Oilers power play? They had 3 and they were terrible. They were terrible all night on the power play, and they gave up 2 shorthanded breakaways.
Yeah. The Blues on that power play, I think the Blues had more shots on it than the Oilers did.
They did on the third power play.
And Mike Morocco, right? And again, I for the most part had the volume very low, or what I could hear I was not listening to. Right? Remember my hearing. I have no high range hearing, like a siren.
Yeah,
I can't hear sirens anymore.
No.
Like smoke detectors, right? I don't hear them. In fact, I'll show you something here real quick. I know you might not be able to hear me or might have trouble swinging around. I put this in my house now. I don't know if you can see it. I may have to unplug it. I have these in my house, right?
Okay.
This is.
Do they light up or something?
Yeah, if the alarm goes off, it lights up.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
That's part of the reason why I don't listen to games when there's a female announcer, because I can't hear her that well, right?
Yeah.
National broadcasters don't do any favors, do anyone any favors, and they don't. ESPN has gotten real. ESPN, I'll tell you what. When ESPN2 was here, and ESPN2 he used to have NHL Tonight, and they did games on ESPN2, they had great announcers. They were really well done. They covered hockey better than anybody has in a very, very long time. This is why I think the NHL needs to take over the broadcasting, right? I get it. They get money from selling the rights. But wouldn't they get more money from selling, taking it over on their own and then selling the advertisement at a cheaper rate and then because obviously the other, you know,
Mhm.
the national, they got to bump it up, and then you put this stuff all on, you know, you put it online, or you put it on the NHL Network, or you put it on center
Yeah.
ice. You make center ice available to everybody, no blackouts, right? Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
If you put
absolutely.
center ice,
I'm with you.
if you put center ice on, no blackouts, had national games, let teams run their own broadcasting and sell their own advertisement. God, the teams, oh my goodness, the teams would be raking in money because they could charge a little less than what advertisers are paying now. Not completely less, but a little less. Yeah, you add some employees in that, but you're still making money. You're still making money, and then you're controlling the
Yeah.
narrative. And
Yeah,
unfortunately,
absolutely.
you don't control. And look, I get there's issues with with controlling the narrative sometimes, but in other ways, does my volume seem low, guys? I don't think so.
I
got it up.
don't think so. I don't think it
Yeah,
was it was kind of cutting out for a minute, but it wasn't
okay.
low.
That
It
might
wasn't
just be,
low.
yeah, it might be me like speaking too heavy into it. Well, part of
Mhm.
that, Kelsey, I think what you might, I don't know how far, when I was showing the light thing, I was really far away from the mic. So that might have had something to do with it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, she says my dad.
But so oh, sorry, go ahead.
Conversational. Yeah, I'm going with Kelsey. Justin just seems a lot louder than you. Justin just sometimes he is louder than me.
Well, and look. I understand. I'm very vocal, and I know I seem angry, but this is from a fan and someone in media who we've talked about this before. Someone as a fan and someone in media, you have to take different approaches. You have to be unbiased. And I'm not saying all this because I'm being biased and I want these announcers to glaze the St. Louis Blues. No, I want them to call the game. I want them to stop playing into biases. I mean, look at if you want any. Okay, I'm back, right?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, Kelsey does a podcast too. What
Guy,
kind
are
of
you
podcast
good?
do you, Kelsey? Yeah, I'm still here. I can hear you.
Oh.
I can hear you.
Am I like cutting out? I feel like something's going on here, glitching or
You
something.
locked for a minute. You froze up for a minute.
Okay, but okay, yeah. So for me, like I said, I know I seem angry with it, but like the thing is I, as a media and fan, you have to look at it differently, right? But for me, I want the product to be the best that it can be, and I'm sorry, man. I take this for example. If you want any explanation or idea on why I feel this way, just go watch when the St. Louis Blues score this first goal, to get within one. What did they do? What did AJ Malesko do immediately after this goal was scored? She went right back to glazing the Edmonton Oilers. She went right back to talking about the Edmonton Oilers and how they're doing this, how they're doing that. Dude, the St. Louis Blues just scored. Stop sucking off Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. And sorry, I know vulgar language. I apologize for any of the audience who is offended, but that's exactly what those national announcers do.
But Justin, this wasn't on you. This was on me. So, you know, I have sliders for all the volumes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for the computer volume, sometimes I struggle with that. Even in my ears, so I add that up a little. I adjust it sometimes, and I think I had it a little higher for something else I was doing. Usually, when you're on, I drop it down, and I didn't drop it down this time, so I've dropped it down now.
Okay.
And it should be our volume should be closer.
Okay. I was wondering what was going on.
Looking at the equalizers, our volumes are closer now. Right, and I've got to do that sometimes because of my hearing, the way I
I got you.
By the way, in the World Baseball Classic, the USA is up 5-3 in the bottom of the ninth on Canada. If they can get these 3 outs, they will advance to the semifinals against the Dominican Republic. Tomorrow, Japan and Italy will both play for their chances to go.
Nice. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you read that.
What a sucking off. What was that? Oh man. During the finals, he got asked the question. It was so like he didn't know what the word was, and he asked it back. I forget what he did. Audio only, still new. It's just a hobby. They did what? Let's talk about documentaries and docuseries of crazy stuff. You know what, Kelsey? I would come on and do one of those with you if you wanted some help. I like documentaries and I call them biopics, but other people call them biopics. I call them biopics. I really like them. So yeah. And then there's one out there called Who Did What Now from a social scientist in England. I pay attention to her. So anytime you want some help, Kelsey, we're here for you. I'm here for you. I don't know if Justin's into that stuff as much as I am.
I think documentaries are cool. It's something that I don't watch very much, but it is a very cool concept, Kelsey, for sure. Okay, go ahead. I know you're reading comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says O'Reilly and Petro couldn't help but giggle at Tarasenko. Oh, rub off. What's a rub off? What's rub off mean? That's what it was. They had asked if O'Reilly's work ethic had rubbed off on Tarasenko. And Tarasenko looks at O'Reilly or looks at Petro and goes, "What's a rub off mean?" It was absolutely. I mean, if O'Reilly or Petro had taken a drink during that, it had been everywhere because they lost it. And I remember the shirts. What's a rub off?
Yeah. I just, like I said, for me, so that's one aspect of this game, right? Yeah. Is and like I said, listen, guy, I know you don't like how kind of out there I am with this, but for me, the Edmonton Oilers are going to do what the Edmonton Oilers do. They're going to make the playoffs. Connor McDavid is just an absolute beauty of a player. I mean, one of the best of this generation and one of the best that hockey's ever seen. And he's going to carry the Edmonton Oilers as far as he can. But the Edmonton Oilers are gonna get carried by, like I said, by poor officiating. And I'm sorry to say that. I know you hate when I say that. They're going to get carried by poor officiating, like they have for the last 2 seasons. And they're gonna make it, and then they're gonna play a big boy. They're gonna play the big boy, and they're gonna end up losing. So they're gonna get carried a lot farther than they probably deserve to be, and then they're gonna lose. So, that's my take.
I don't completely disagree with you, but I'm gonna say this: superstars get calls. It's always gonna happen. Oh, that was a bad call. I'm watching this. They called that third pitch a strike, and it was definitely off the plate, even from the umpires.
Yeah, that was a bad call. Yeah, I'm watching it too. So yeah, that's 1 out. So 2 outs away from the U.S. advancing.
Ryan Green says I found the video on YouTube. Send it to me, Ryan, and send it to me on Facebook, and then I'll play it again. Right? I would definitely play that again.
Yeah.
If you send
I agree with you though. Right? I agree with you though. I think
superstars. Oh, sorry. So, Justin, and I want to finish what I was. I keep doing the squirrel thing, ADHD all over the place. Superstars are going to get calls. I expect that. It's going to happen. McDavid's going to get a call. Mayu, okay, could have been embellishment, yes, but he's going to get that call. And I did hear her say that, or one of the announcers say, he's going to get that call every day of the week. It's going to get called, right? And I get that. But what I looked at was earlier in the season, when those things happened, this team fell apart. They didn't fall apart this time.
They did not. They played a fantastic. They were fantastic on the penalty kill. They like I said, they were sitting there and talking about the Edmonton Oilers about, this great power play, I didn't see it. The power play, that power play for the Edmonton Oilers tonight had 3 power plays, and it looked exactly like the St. Louis Blues power play on most nights. Bad. So, they gave up 2 shorthanded opportunities, but like I said, I understand what you're saying. If superstars get calls, I don't necessarily think it's right, because I don't. Although that is the case, I still don't sit here and say that doing that is good for the sport. Just because you're a superstar doesn't mean you deserve the benefit of the call. I mean, I don't think that has any bearing on whether or not you draw money or not. Like, just because you draw penalties doesn't mean you draw money to the sport of hockey and the National Hockey League. I mean, you're a good player. You're a good player. You should be noticed by your skill, not the fact that you can embellish penalties and get away with calls. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Get that, but it's been happening for forever. Albert Pujols got balls called that were strikes, and strikes that were called balls. His strike zone got tighter. Barry Bonds' strike zone got tighter. Mark McGwire's strike zone got tighter. Greg Maddux would get strikes called that were a ball off the plate, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
So it was going. That's been happening forever.
Forever. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Superstars get, in every sport, superstars get the benefit, the benefit of the call.
Yeah. Well, Michael Jordan. I mean, I remember I don't know. You may be old enough to remember this. I don't know. Maybe you've heard about it. There was a period where he took a retirement and played baseball. When he came back, the big thing was, I remember hey, Mike, there's no hand checking in the league anymore. He still got fouls for that. People, I mean, even though it was no longer legal.
What? Sorry. One more strike to go for the U.S. and they advance.
Yep. All right. Nope. They're through.
All right. There you go. Yeah. The U.S. wins.
Oh yeah. They'll face Dominican Republic on Sunday, and tomorrow Japan plays. I forget who Japan plays. And then Italy plays somebody. I'd have to look at it later. So those will be the two big games. Way to go, USA. Well, they're going to take a chance to get back to that one more step towards getting revenge on Japan, because Japan won the last one with Nutbar on that team, but Nutbar's injured now. Look, when it comes to the Blues, here, if you want me to tell you what I thought of this game.
No, I definitely want to get your thoughts, and then I want to kind of hit on a few more other points because there was multiple things I thought about this.
I'm sorry. Am I like jumping around again?
No, you're good. I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll kind of dive into some of my thoughts.
I'm going to show this.
The right way. How much does that rub off on you and the rest of the team?
What's a rub off means?
How much do you learn from that?
Okay. I used to see the different spot before all the time, like on the side, kind of, and kind of team's decision put me in the middle, and
That's a good one.
He's doing everything. Petro is doing everything. Everything to hold it back. He almost just lets it go. Stephen Glass says on the other side of it, if McDavid feels someone behind him and clear that takes a dive, they should call it. I agree with you. They don't call diving up. I agree with you. It's to the point where diving is legal. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Stephen. You nailed it on the head. And like I said, I agree with Guy. I'm like I said, I am so. This is the weirdest thing. I am like so 100% on my opinion, and I'm so 100% on Guy's opinion. I don't even know how that's possible. I guess I'm ranking it at a 200%. So Guy's 100% right, and I'm 100% right. So
it's not that I don't think that they do a bad job. I just think that the human element comes into it sometimes, and we don't realize that. Now, I will say, is it possible that prior to games, leagues have meetings and say, this is what they want you to focus on in this game? Yes, it is highly possible. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's probable? Not as probable as it is possible. Does that make sense?
Well, no, and I want to say, and I'm not on this. I'm not on the I think that they're like having the refs predetermine like anything like that. I'm just saying that from a standpoint of like you're looking at superstars. Superstars are magnified. So when something like this happens, you have to like. I get it. Superstars get the calls, but I'm with Stephen Glass on this one. Like he just said, that it's become a thing where the NHL needs to start looking at these guys who are known embellishers, and they need to pinpoint them and start focusing on them and start cracking down on the embellishment, because it's becoming a problem in the NHL.
Do not disagree with you.
Yeah.
Do not disagree with you at all. Okay. Embellishment is something they absolutely have to take to heart. I absolutely believe that. Now, my thoughts on the game.
Yep.
The Blues came into this game after an emotional win, right? And I'm sorry, that win against Carolina was an emotional win. Down 1-0 and scoring 3 goals after the game, after giving up a 3-goal lead and losing 4-3. Coming in tonight, next night, no morning skate, having a player like Dvorsky sit. And I don't have a problem with Dvorsky sitting. He needs time off. I get it. He's a younger guy, hasn't played this many games before, needs some time off. I get it. Absolutely get it. Sundqvist is one of those guys that he needs to be on the ice. I get it. I don't have a problem with that. When they came on the ice, they had this emotion that was pent up, and they struggled with letting it out, to the point where I think they let it out too much in a very tight first period. Second period came, and their legs just hit them. The back-to-back game legs hit them, and it hit them hard. And the fact that they were only down 1-0, that's a credit to this team. I'll tell you, and I don't know, and I've said this. I remember saying this earlier in the season when we were going through all this. We were hearing about the possibilities of issues in the locker room. I said that there could be old guard, new guard thing, or kind of like this struggle between how to play Montgomery's offense against all the defensive issues or defensive style you've been taught.
Mindset that you've been taught.
Montgomery. Who did I say?
No. I was just switching your words around. You were trying to say the defensive mindset of some of the guys.
Yeah. The defensive mindset that they had for the past 10 years, right? To really get into, and I felt like that was an issue. I'll tell you right now, I know it was an issue because 2 of the guys that I felt were more defensive than offensive were Steen and Falk. And now that Steen and Falk are gone, look at how these guys are playing. I think in the first, they played very offensive. In the second, they played very defensive. And they played defensive because their legs were not there. But they came out in the third, down 1-0, get down 2-0, and don't give up. That's the difference. This team believes that they can play with anybody in the league. And earlier in the season, they didn't. That, my friends, is a leadership issue. Oh, you're locked up on me. Oh, Japan plays Venezuela, and Italy will play Puerto Rico. There we go. Justin should be back in a second. Hey, if you're still here, say hi. Say something in the comments. We want to know you're still listening. You froze there for a second, bud.
Yeah. For me, and I want to say this, just get it off the bat because I'm not going to go heavy onto it. For all the Thomas detractors, where you at? But for me, dude, we're going to look at this, and I'm going to get into my thoughts, on the key portions of this game. But if this win should tell you anything, this win should tell you that the Blues they're trying to get into the playoffs. They're definitely not holding back. They're not tanking as a lot of fans want them to do. They're definitely not tanking. These 2 wins, if the St. Louis Blues somehow manage to crawl back and make the playoffs, these two games will be the tailor-made games on why they made the playoffs right here. These two games, Carolina and Edmonton. Those are two teams that the Blues supposedly, by everybody's standards, should not have beaten. So those are your two games that will be your deciding factor whether or not. I mean, no, not your deciding factor, but that will be your games to look at on why the Blues made this.
Look back on a season, and they're going to be pivotal games in the season. I agree with
they're
that.
They're going to be pivotal games, and on top of that, it's not just those two games are big ones because they're teams that we know are good. But like San Jose on the uprise, Anaheim, both of those teams are ahead of the Blues. They played them very well. The Islanders, they're ahead of the Blues. They should have beat the Islanders. This team is undefeated in regulation coming out of the break. So I don't know what it is, man. But the first thing I said when that buzzer went off and the Blues won this game was they're going to do it again. These sons of bitches are going to do it again.
7-game point streak, right? And really, you look at they're doing another Western Canada swing, somewhat. Winnipeg, 2 days off. Now early morning game. Oh, for me, early morning game. 9. What's that? 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the afternoon for you guys. Then we got a Wednesday game, and then a Saturday game. And the Wednesday game, I may not be able to do. Now that I think I might have a doctor's appointment that day. I got to check. Actually, it might be early morning, so I should be okay. But those are 3 winnable games, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're looking at, and right now you're looking at a 7-game. Is it a 7-game point streak? Yeah, 7-game point streak.
Yeah.
And actually, they are not undefeated since the break. They lost to New Jersey 3-1. And that was in regulation.
Oh yeah, okay. So they have, but and it's kind of crazy though because it felt like an eternity though since they played that game. To be honest,
they're 7-1-1 since the break.
Okay, so their last 9 games 7-1-1. That's still great. That's still fantastic. And like I said, that was the first thing. I kid you not, guy. When I'm sitting at my chair watching this game and the buzzer goes, the first thing I say is, "These sons of bitches are going to do it again. They're going to do it again." And I don't know how. I just don't know how they do it. I just don't. I don't understand it. It's like an unsolved mystery to me.
Again, this is a change that was made. It was a change that is made that has helped the Blues. They're getting a little bit younger. You're seeing it. Jason McMillan says, "Good evening, Blues fans." Hey, Jason.
How you doing?
Jason McMillan says, "Thomas has changed his game and the team has benefited. He drew his first penalty he's drawn in months. It's all about Thomas. He's the head of the snake." And he says he never questioned his ability, Justin. I understand. Hoffer fully taking the starter role? ?
This can I go first here because this actually goes into one of my subsections here. So this goes into one of my subsections of this game. Hofer, I've been high on Hofer. You look at these two games comparable, right? Both goalies played fantastic. The Edmonton Oilers did not, and I don't care what anyone says, go back and rewatch the game. The Edmonton Oilers did not have that many high-scoring chances in this game. A lot of their shots were from the outside or the blue line with zero traffic. Hofer had an easy job in this game. There was not a lot of high-danger chances for the Edmonton Oilers in this game. Binnington in the last game. This was not a game where I can say Hofer stole this game. The last game, I can question Binnington stole that game.
Oh,
I can't say that for this game. That's what who?
What?
Who?
Binnington stole that game. Binnington stole that game.
That's my brother. Follow me here. I said that. I said Binnington stole that game. I can say that with confidence. Hofer in this game, although he was good when he needed to be, the Edmonton Oilers did not have the chances that the Carolina Hurricanes had. This was not a game that Joe Hofer stole. It was a game that he was good in, but it was not a game that he stole. The St. Louis Blues won this game on guts, and this was an exhilarating, exciting game. And if you're watching this game, and after the Blues win this game, if you're still on the tank bandwagon after the fact that I think the Blues are now 3 points out after this game, why? How could you be in the tank wagon? They're 3 points out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You want a high draft pick, but this is actually a good point. Sorry, I don't mean to go in a different direction, but this is a good point. Blues are 3 points out at where they're sitting at with their points right now, which is, I believe, 64 now. 64. Yeah. This goes to a testament of how the league as a whole has been, not just the St. Louis Blues. The Blues are 3 points out of a playoff spot at this late in the season with just 64 points. I mean, that is pretty low. I mean, that's a low number right there to be 3 points out of the playoffs this deep into the season.
Well, it just shows you how much parity there is.
This season is an anomaly, I think. This is why I call this season an anomaly, because it's not just the St. Louis Blues that are finding this season very, very weird.
Hey,
so
Justin,
that's just my thoughts.
Here's something you don't hear very often. Jason McMillan says Justin is right.
Oh yeah, you're right, Jason. I don't hear that often, man. Thank you. Guy doesn't reassure me very much. So
give me a second. I gotta unfreeze me. You can hear me, right? You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, but my video is frozen, so give me just a second.
I appreciate it, Jason. Guy doesn't reassure me on that sometimes.
you know I'm joking, right, bud?
No, I know. Well, and it's true. I don't usually hear a lot of, oh, you're right, but and that's fine. People have their different opinions, but for me, this game solidified to me that Jesus Christ, they might actually do it again, and that's just scary to me. The fact that they trade off the pieces, you're expecting the Blues to not tank. I didn't expect them to tank, but I don't expect them to go through a rebuild. Trading Shin and Falk was not a rebuild. It was a retool, a replacement, like we talked about. It was
a tool replacement. I think it was more of a tool replacement.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly. So
Kelsey Mack says, I'm sorry, Hope is a heartless bitch, but I love her too. Look, when it comes down to it, how many times, Justin, and I'm going to throw you under the bus here a little bit. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And now I know you're not a tanker. I know that. And in fact, I'll give credit to Blues hockey memes because normally I don't like anything they put out. But they came out and put out some anti-tank stuff. And I was like really happy they did that. Mm-hmm. How many times have we heard, and how many times have I heard from you, the draft lottery's rigged?
Oh, multiple times. And I have a friend that I pretty much know is in kind of like media that can pretty much confirm that he also says that same thing. So obviously I'm not going to get into that source, but I think it goes back as far as, like I said, Sidney Crosby going to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but we've consistently heard this about the draft is rigged, and well, okay, great. You think the draft is rigged. Then you hear, I want the number one draft pick. Lose. Dude,
but I never have. I never said that. But I never said that, though.
I didn't say you. I'm pointing out the tankers, right? And I mean, when I say you, that's who I'm referring to, the tankers, right? So this, and I have said this, how many from Justin, what did I say after game one in St. Louis? Did I or did I not say this is a good team playing badly?
Yeah, you did. You said, well, mostly your thing in the beginning of the season is you didn't see the Montgomery offense. That's what you said, pretty much,
Good
for the beginning. But Yeah, but that was your verb. You did say it, but I'm saying that most of your thing in the beginning was you didn't see the Montgomery system.
Yeah,
That was your thing.
And and the last since the break, since the break, and even since the trade deadline, I think you're seeing more and more of the Montgomery system sleeping in. I feel like Shen, too many two-way guys on this team, and too many guys that want to play two-way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do understand now. Who was it that brought the draft lottery in? I think it was the NBA that started it with the draft lottery, right? Because the NBA tanking was really bad in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And then the NBA and the NHL, because they're both 82-game leagues, they kind of mirror each other in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I heard today, I think it was on the Morning After podcast, I seen a reel about it. God, I wish I was better at doing these reels every day that we do on our shows. But they were talking about who's the next captain, and there was this thought process that it's Neighbors. And the other process was, when Thomas signed his extension, Armstrong had said he's going to be the captain of this team one day. Well, you could look at that as a promise to Thomas that he's going to be a captain. Now, if you don't give him that captain, are you looking? And I'm bringing this up when I don't completely believe it. Are you kind of looking at what could be a Tarasenko type thing? Right.
I mean, you could. Well, and I'm going to bring up what we saw on social media, how Thomas said that he was never approached by the Blues about waiving his no movement clause, and nor did he want to ever leave St. Louis. Nor did he ask for a trade. And I believe that. I do. I don't look. I get it. I've come on this show and I've said the one issue with Robert Thomas is his attitude. Like his attitude of like hanging his head, raising his head and being frustrated. That is something he's got to work on. But I can't. That could just be kind of like you got to remember who this kid learned from. He learned from Ryan O'Reilly, and I love Ryan O'Reilly, but Ryan O'Reilly was the same way, and he is hard on himself. And although I do agree with Guy that that's not the mindset that a captain should have, where you're just blaming yourself, but I've seen Robert Thomas speak. He's not a guy that is pretty straightforward like that. Ryan O'Reilly took a lot of the blame and just put it all on his shoulders. Robert Thomas is not really that guy.
Yeah, I don't think either.
He does put it on the ice and he does show the frustration, but I think it's just because Thomas is a competitor and he wants to win. He knows he's a good player. He knows that, I just missed that shot. Damn, I'm frustrated, and I understand it. He can hone it in a little bit better, but I think he is not the same type of attitude that we talk about in the locker room. I think he's a little bit more toned down. I think he probably is a nice dude. I kind of get that feeling. He's just kind of hard. He has a hard shell. I think he has a hard outer shell, but I think he has a soft inner edge to him.
The only change, I'll be honest with you. What I'd like to see, a pure lottery, right? Pick them 1 to 16 all the way down. Pick them all the way down, right? The first 16 names that come up. Yeah, it'll take a while, but then it's a pure lottery. Then you still keep the same percentages, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, it makes winning more important, right? Because let's put it this way. Why does, and I'm going to put this out there, and I don't want you to answer it right away. There's still some people watching us. Why does a team want a player like Bedard? Why does a team want a player like Celebrini? Why does a team want a player like McDavid? Why does a team want a player like Austin Matthews? Why does a team want a player like who's the guy this year? McKenzie, right? Or something like that?
No, Celebrini, Macklin Celebrini.
No, the one that everyone's talking about for the McKenna, right?
McKenna,
McKenna and Stenberg. Why does a team want a player like that? There's two reasons reason 1 is higher than reason 2. And I think everyone will get reason 2, but not reason 1.
Yeah.
I want you to wait. Remember, there's a 15-second
I know.
delay in the typing time.
I know. I
want you to
won't.
think about that.
I won't, but I want to say that. Well, and this is why I was never, and that kind of goes together. Like if you think about it, you called me out for like the whole, like, I think the draft lottery, there is a little bit of rigness in there. And this is why this is why I've doubled down on the fact that I don't want the Blues to tank. Because I think if the Blues tank, it doesn't matter, because I don't think they're going to get the first overall. I could even see them like somehow managing to somehow possibly be the 4th pick somehow and move into the 4th pick.
I got to give it. I got to put it out. I did not think anybody was going to get reason number 1. Jason McMillan hit it out of the park. First comment. Reason 1 is putting asses in the seats. Absolutely. It has everything to do with that. Everything. Right? When teams are struggling, there are a few fan bases that are very, what do you call it? Bandwagonish. Right?
Yeah, wishy-washy. Yeah, wishy-washy. Yeah.
The Blues, for the most part, are not.
No, they're absolutely not.
They have a very strong diehardness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, prior to getting Bedard, they were starting to see ticket sales, and the biggest thing for them, they were seeing, and I wish Wendy was here because we could talk to him about this a little bit. They were seeing season holder ticket sales falling off, right? They rely on that. They rely on season ticket holder sales more than they do individual. And they were starting to see that. That is something why it was so important it was more important. I think that was more important reason for them to get Bedard than the winning aspect, getting a player that you can build around and win around. Mm-hmm. Because in the 3 years since Bedard, they've still had very good high draft picks, but they haven't built around him. They brought in older guys. They haven't done the things. They haven't brought in guys that Bedard can make better and that can make Bedard better. At least in my eyes. I could be wrong. I could be a complete idiot. And like I said, I wish Wendy was here to set me straight.
Oh,
when you look at this, do we need to put butts in the seats? No, I don't think we do. I think that we are well enough ahead that we're not struggling to get tickets. Yeah, I mean, okay, some people aren't going because they were playing bad, but season tickets were still sold. Season tickets are going to get sold next year.
Yeah, and it's a good point. I mean, you do want to put asses in the seats, but the thing is yes, the Blues are not someone that struggles with attendance. They do very, very well with their attendance. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but they do very, very well. And even if the Blues are playing poorly, just like the first half of the season, for the last couple of seasons, people still show up to support the team. This isn't a fan base that has suffered from attendance, but I go, and it's kind of crazy. Obviously, this could be a different topic for a different day. But you look at the situations on who they got now, like Celebrini's in San Jose, and he's doing fantastic. He's going to be great for years to come. But if you think about it, how the draft lottery works, Bedard should have been a San Jose Shark, not a Chicago Blackhawk. With the way that Bedard, with the way Chicago jumped from 3rd to 1st and got Bedard, that was a speed up process for the Chicago Blackhawks. And like I said, it all kind of plays into the fact of being a little rigged, in my opinion. Obviously Celebrini went to the Sharks, but I feel like you got to kind of balance it out a bit. So I mean, San Jose's not hurting anyway because they got a great player already, but if you think about it, the roles would have been reversed if the draft was how it probably should have panned out. San Jose would have got Bedard, and Chicago would have got Macklin Celebrini.
Yeah. I will say, Kelsey says, I've lived in a lot of places, and St. Louis is definitely a hockey town. We're more of a baseball town than we are a hockey town, but I think St. Louis, when you get right down to it, we're a sports town.
Yeah, we're a sports city. We're a sports city.
There's
Absolutely
no,
sports city.
yeah, there's no and ifs or buts about that. And I'll be honest with you, if the Rams had good ownership and kept winning and not, let's lose so I can move,
Yeah.
Dome would be full. The Dome would be been
absolutely
made better. Whenever it would have needed, it would have happened.
Well, look at
Thomas. What a shot! And Ingram, that was on Ingram. Ingram should have had that.
Yeah. We'll look at we talked about it. We talked about this on the last show. Or on a couple of shows here in the past. Our St. Louis is a destination city. I think St. Louis is in a destination city standpoint for sports for the most part.
Something that may upset you a little bit.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I like that. No, you said that on, and you said some things to me personally, and I get it. And this might go into that statement a little bit, but when you said that on somebody else's podcast, I was like, motherfucker stole my line.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure I might not have said it, but I do remember saying myself and Guy talk about this. So I don't know if I did it for that thing per se. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. But yeah. I did answer some questions and say, well, on our show we talk about this.
I know. And you know, I'm saying this half jokingly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. It was because Destination City, that came out of my mouth first. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be egomaniac here. I'm not. I'm just saying that that's something that came from me, and it was built. I built it, and it's not being an egomaniac. But what I did take out of it. Now, this was the other part of this that I took out of it. Well, that means Justin respects me by using it, and so that 50. So I'm saying it jokingly. You get that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, and honestly, I'm not going to change the verbiage because that's exactly what it is. I think St. Louis is a destination city, and as for the sports city, I think we all knew that St. Louis was a sports city. They're very faithful to their fans. They get overboard sometimes. They're like Toronto fans, but they're nowhere near as irrational as Toronto fans.
Yeah. The one thing, there was something put out, Andy, I think it was Andy Strickland that put this out from the, he talked about, he had a conversation with Roman Turek once, and Roman Turek used to say, I felt more pressure playing in St. Louis than I did anywhere else. And because I felt that pressure from the organization, right? Like this organization needs to win, wants to win. I almost think it needs to win. And it may need to win to be profitable. And I'm not 100% sure on that, but this is an organization that when you come here, if you come here and think that you're just coming here to play hockey, you're in the wrong place. Right. And I think that when this season started, a lot of these guys came here just to play hockey, and it showed. Right. And it showed. Now, I want you to understand something, Justin, real quick, right? I just bring that up for a couple of I bring that up about you saying, what I'd said. I bring that up for a couple of reasons. One is, okay, yeah, I was hurt. But at the same time, I go, you know what? He respects you. He gets over. And that's what's so good about you and me right now. That's what I wanted to bring up, that we do respect each other. That when we argue, there is some respect. And we don't think that our opinion is better or higher than anybody else's. The difference, and it's a huge difference, is that we have a platform that others don't. Right? And that's why, for the most part, I always try and show comments to give them help in that platform. Right? And that is the strength that I try and give to people. I went to a Jets versus Bills game in Toronto. When the Jets won, they countered with "Go Leaf" chants.
Yeah, and I know, and for me, I'm not I don't hate Toronto. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, this is not like I know I took a shot at Toronto fans, but Toronto fans are they're very irrational at times. St. Louis fan, and like I said, I love their loyalty to their fan base. That's the thing that I love about it, because that's the same thing that St. Louis fans are. They're loyal to their fans, but the St. Louis fans know how to corral it in a respectful manner. Toronto fans, not so much.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. And, so me and Justin, yeah, we argue. Yeah, we go at each other sometimes, but it is all done out of friendship. At the end of the day, I mean, and we text each other almost daily, right? And you text things that you throw darts at me, I throw darts at you. But when the end of the line, we come together here and we're on the show and we're not like, okay, we forget about it. And that's what, that's the good thing about it. And that's what I hope continues. Jason McMillan says, hey guys, I hope they keep Parayko and Bennington. We need a veteran defenseman and a real backup goalie. Ooh, that's like a shark. Well, first of all, as long as Bennington is here, he's your number one goalie. Now, is it Hoffer's net? At the moment, I say yes, but it's slipping. Again, one game on each guy. Hoffer's lost the 3-goal loss, and it wasn't on 3-goal lead loss. That wasn't really on Hoffer. He did let in a soft one on there, but it really wasn't on Hoffer. There were some other things that happened in there. The defense gave up some stuff, and that defense let Hoffer down. I'll admit that. But I do, and this was something that I was going to mention earlier. What you're seeing right now is why I maybe don't trade Bennington at the draft or in the offseason, right? Unless I get blown away.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it. For me, like I said, Jordan Binnington, he won a ring. He has a ring. He has a cup. Hofer will not be the number one on this team until Jordan Binnington is no longer here. There's no reasonable reason for me to say, although the seasons, Binnington has, he played an absolutely fantastic game against Carolina. He's not a bad goaltender. We all know this. And the stats show that Hofer's, it's his net, but Hofer's net doesn't mean that he's a number one. You can't say that a young kid in Joe Hofer is the number one over a Stanley Cup winning goalie in Jordan Binnington. It's just not a thing right now, at least.
Now
he's getting there.
Dr. Detroit says St. Louis, Colorado, first round. It could happen. I think if it does, it's Colorado in 5 or 6. I know Justin thinks it goes 6 or 7. Actually, I think it's 4 or 5. I take that back. 4 or 5.
I didn't even tell you what it would be, but I appreciate you putting that in.
6 or 7, right?
No, I think max you'd see 6. Max. I don't think it goes 7. I think, but the thing is it's all subjective, because if the Blues, what did they say about the playoffs? If your goal, all you need is a goaltender that's hot. If you have 2 goaltenders that are firing on all cylinders, dude, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, look at 2019.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything can happen.
One problem with having that is when you have 2 goaltenders that are hot, who do you start and who do you don't? Because you can't.
Oh, absolutely.
In the playoffs, it's got to be somebody's net. Now, what we've seen happen before, we've seen this with Husso, right? They started Husso. Husso lost 2 games against Minnesota. They put Bennington in, and Bennington wins the next 4, right? And then Bennington plays very well against Colorado and probably should have beat him until somebody who I will not name falls on his leg and takes him out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Reed.
It said it almost seems competitive right now. They're both proving they deserve their time in goal. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're both playing, and that's what you want. This is what you expected from the goaltending tandem from the beginning of the season. And if this was the goaltending that we got from both guys in the beginning of the season, I don't think the Blues are in this position where they're crawling for a spot. I don't. I really don't. And like I said, it's not to blame goaltending completely. The goal scoring was not enough. But if this goaltending was as good as they are right now, the Blues are not fighting for a playoff spot. They're probably in a playoff spot.
Yeah. I mean, they're what, like 6 points out, and with a few games. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, shipmate?
No, they're 3 points out. I think they're 3 points out.
No, I think there's 4. They're 4 or 6.
Is it?
So Jason McMillan says, if the Blues do make it, who starts in goal? Asking both of you. I'll let you start first.
For me, seeing as Bennington won you a cup, and Bennington is a different animal in the playoffs, I just don't see how you not start Bennington. Because for me, I'm in two boats here. Either you give it to the guy that you know is a big-time goalie and can really play really well in the playoffs, or you give it to Joe Hofer and knowing that you probably – and I don't mean to be the negative here because I've been optimistic. Guy can vouch for me 100%. When he was down on the Blues, I was optimistic. The whole season I've been optimistic. So if you think the Blues are going to lose, and if the Blues think they're going to lose, then maybe if you want to give Joe Hofer the net and you want to give him some playoff experience, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. So it's kind of a controversial thing for me. Do you want the guy to get experience, or do you want the guy who is a big-time goalie? And do you really want to make a push for it?
Yeah, I'm not complete. I'm on board with you, but I'm not. I would do what they did again a couple of years back against Minnesota. I would start Hofer in net, but I would have a shorter leash, right? Once he loses a game, then Bennington comes in. He doesn't get 2 games because you're not coming back 4 games. You're not coming down 0-2 against Colorado, okay? But if you lose that first game, and it's a blowout, absolutely Bennington comes in. If you lose the first game and it's like super close or goes to OT, he gets the next game, but short leash. You go down by 2 goals, he gets pulled, and he knows this ahead of time, right? Look, bud, we can't be down by 2. The team's got to play for you too, but I can't let us go down by 2, right? And maybe that's not the right way to see it or look at it, but that's how I do. Jason McMillan says we're 5 points out right now, but we're also like, everyone has like 1 or 2 games in hand on us. We're like one of the most played. Jeremy, it is great to do it with you. See you, bud. We got to try and figure out a way to get together this summer for a couple of days somewhere. Benner's net in the playoffs all day, every day. I'm close on that. Well, we just talked about it. Red Wings are doing their annual March crash out. I think they'll be okay. You definitely don't want to see the Avs first round, but they're going to be steamrolling. I'd rather play the Stars or Vegas. We're not going to get the first wild card spot, and we're not going to get in the third place. Right.
Well, and I want to say this though. I know you said that you think they're going to be fine. I wouldn't be so sure, man. Columbus rising up the rankings. Boston's right there, surprisingly. The Senators are still, the Senators have a little bit of a climb, but if the Red Wings aren't careful, they could find themselves on the outside looking in again, because they're slipping. Columbus is 2 points behind Detroit right now. So I mean, you're looking at an interesting situation over there. I think for me, like I said, it's either the tale of 2 takes. I could definitely see what Guy said, where you put Hofer in net, you give him the game, you give him the shorter leash. He loses a game in a blowout fashion, you give Bennington the net, but I can also see a world where the Blues say, "Hey, you know what, Hofer? We believe in you 100%. You're the future, but we're going to go with Jordan Bennington because he's a big time guy." And I think Hofer knows that too. So, like you said, we're talking about this like it's predetermined. Yeah. We don't know if it's going to happen.
Here you go. You've got a home and home with the Avalanche coming up April 5th and 7th. You're in their building on the 5th. You're in our building on the 7th, right? That's a Sunday, and they're both late games. Well, the Sunday's 8:30 Central Standard Time. The Tuesday game's a 7. Central Standard Time.
Mhm.
So it's on the Sunday game is an ESPN game. If
I-
and this is the if the Blues are still in a playoff hunt, whichever goalie starts those two games, that's your playoff goal.
Mhm.
Right?
Man, I'll tell you what though. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If they split it, then you don't plan on making the playoffs. Right? And it doesn't matter who loses the first one unless it's a blowout. But to me, right now, it'll come down to those two games and where you're at after you face the Ducks on April 3rd.
Mhm.
That Friday game.
I'll tell you what though. I just was saying. I'll tell you what. I get this NHL schedule, but man, I hate that we have to play the Avalanche. So like, because especially it does create the rivalry aspect of things in the playoffs. But God, I hate having to play the Avalanche back to back so close to the end of the season, especially if the Blues are going to be in the playoffs to face the Avalanche. I don't like that the Blues are going to see a lot of them if they end up making it. But
Jason asked, if they don't make the playoffs, who do you want to see lift the cup? Oh, that's a the team I want to see lift the cup. You would probably call me a complete freaking idiot. Right?
what?
I want to see Buffalo. I want to see that team. I want to see them break that. I mean, break the drought really big. Like go from that, 12, 15, 14 years of not making the playoffs and then turn around and have the team. And not only that, Tage Thompson, to see him, to see how good it was when we picked him in the spot we picked him and what we saw. Right?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, Guy, dreamers can be dreamers. You can dream. But the Buffalo Sabres, they're not going to win the Stanley Cup, but they're going to break their playoff drought, and I'm happy for them. It's going to be fun to see them in the playoffs, but they're not going to win it. But the question was, I will say, who would you want to win? So who would you want to win? Yes, Buffalo would be great. For me, I'm going to go with. I'll be honest. Who do I want to win? If I'm to choose anybody right now, I want the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup.
I'd be somewhat okay with the Hurricanes winning. For me, I don't want to see the usual suspects, right?
I don't either.
Edmonton's had their chance. Tampa Bay's won their cups. Hurricane has a cup, but it's been a while, but they've been there. I want to see someone that, like Buffalo, hasn't won a cup, like Minnesota.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good one. I want to say that. So obviously the usual suspects, but like Carolina hasn't made it to the finals or whatever. But I would love to see them win it. And although I've been harsh on the team, Minnesota would be very cool to see win. I would be okay with them winning. Utah's an interesting one. Utah's not going to win the cup, but if they're in it, hopefully they give somebody a run for their money, but I don't see Utah making it very far. I think they'll probably be a first round exit. They'll just get that playoff experience and then probably be done. But I think there's a bunch of teams. I mean, you look at the prospect of Anaheim. Anaheim's going to make the playoffs. And
well, he froze there. There you go. You froze for a second.
Good. I was saying, and I love the prospect of maybe Anaheim, a team like Anaheim doing it. But see, the thing is Anaheim's not going to win it either. But this goes to show you how bad I think the Pacific Division is. The Pacific Division is led by the Ducks, and they lead that division by 75 points.
With 75
points. Yeah, with 75 points. So obviously, at this point, probably not too bad because you still have some stretches of games left. But that seems pretty low. If you look at the Pacific Division, man, that thing is an absolute crapshoot. There is only one team, maybe not even one team. Like, but the Cup is not going to the Pacific Division. Like
Yeah.
that is the one division I'm like, okay, that division is not winning the cup, and it's the Pacific. But if there's one team, I'm still going to go with Vegas just because of how they are in the playoffs. Petro's a big miss for them, but as for Anaheim, too young. They'll get the NHL. They'll get the playoff experience. The LA Kings, if they make it, the LA Kings are frauds in the playoffs. They can't play in the playoffs. The Edmonton Oilers, I don't think they're very good defensively, and I think my statement of the Edmonton Oilers not being that great defensively held true tonight when the St. Louis Blues exposed them. I thought they were very, very bad defensively, the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, looking at the Pacific, so the Utah Mammoths are in the number 1 wild card spot. If they were in the and so they're 4th in the East, are in the Central, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If they were in the Pacific, they'd be in second, solidly in second, right?
Yeah.
They have more regulation wins. They have the same points percentage, but they have a better regulation wins. They would be in second in the Pacific, and they're in the first wild card spot. Not only that, they're not even close to the Minnesota Wild. They're 14 points behind the Wild, who are in third place. 14 points behind the Wild, who are in third place. There's no way
crazy
getting it to that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. The standings are crazy, but for me, I think your best bet, Central, is going to have a good shot at the Cup. I think my favorite in the East is still going to be my favorite in the East, and that's going to be Tampa. But as for
excuse me,
my front runners, your two. If I had to pick 2 from the East and 2 from the West, who would have a possibility of winning, it would be Carolina for me, and it would be Tampa over on the East side, and then it would be obviously Colorado and Dallas for me on the West side. And the reason I left out Minnesota, although it would be cool, the people that are strapping the jetpack to Minnesota so quickly, they need to stop putting the cart before the horse, right? So Minnesota has not made it out of the first round very often, and they made it out of the first round once in 9 playoff appearances in 10 years. So let's not act like the Minnesota Wild are some juggernaut just because they acquired a great defenseman in Quinn Hughes.
Yeah,
it'll take a lot more than just Quinn Hughes for Minnesota to overcome their playoff woes.
Yeah. Right, I'm with you. Well, we're going to end this here shortly. One last thing we need to talk about is the suspension, the hit, the knee on Austin Matthews. Now, I've seen someone say that he was out for the year. I thought he was going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So is it a level 3 MCL tear, which is and a leg contusion. Grade 3 MCL tear. So now they're saying to miss the remainder of the season.
He's out for the remainder of the year. He's out.
I thought he was going to be reevaluated after 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, he's done. He's done for the year, and honestly, at this point, just let him rest. Go to the offseason. Toronto's not making the playoffs. Get Austin Matthews some rest. Hopefully, he gets better quickly. But they're in dead last in their division. Toronto, they pretty much have a 0% chance of making the playoffs. So no reason to bring him back for pointless games.
Toronto's they're 10, 11 points out.
They're not making it. No, they're not making it.
No, they're not making it.
But like I said, let's talk about, because I was actually going to bring that up before you even said something, or you said something, but I was going to bring it up, but you beat me to it. So,
well, sorry. So
no, you're good.
The guy gets 5 games, which was the most you could have having the type of hearing he got. Matthews' agent came out blasting player safety and said player safety should be suspended. He's not wrong. I'm sorry, he's not wrong.
I agree. This was sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. This was This was an egregious knee on knee penalty. This should have got way more than 5 games.
Yeah.
This was you took. Okay, I want to bring this full circle, and I want to say what you said, and I want to say what Jake said, or Jake. No, McMillan. Sorry. Puts the asses in the seats. You lost the star in Austin Matthews, although Toronto fans are loyal, so they'll show up anyways. But still, you lost a great player in Austin Matthews, and this was a very, very blatant, bad knee-on-knee collision. And Radko Gudas is not some amateur when it comes to this. This is not the first time he's been in a situation like this, where he's purposely injured a player. And again, it goes back to the consistency. Where is the player's safety stepping in and helping these guys be safe?
Yeah, Gudis is the guy that took out Crosby in the Olympics, right? Kelsey says it's past your bedtime. Thanks for the good vibes. Catch you next time. Anytime, Kelsey. We'll be Sunday. I can't promise I'll do Sunday's game. I'm going to try. It's 8 a.m. for me, I think. Here, I got to double check on that. Let me look real quick.
I mean, well, and we can. I mean, if we wanted to, also we don't even have to watch the game. We could watch the game, but we could do a post game like we're doing now.
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. So what I think we won't do, if we come on, we'll come on. We won't do a 30-minute pregame, right? We'll come on maybe like 8:45, 8:50 ish. And then do the game, or we'll do like we did today, just do a post game. It all depends. I don't know if there's something else family related I need to do that day. We are going through a tropical storm here. So it's been raining really, really heavy. We have flood watches. We have a lot of issues with that. And it's supposed to go all the way through next week. So that's kind of the issues that I'm dealing with that here. So with that, Justin, I think it's time to say goodbye, man. And we did an hour and a half show. We didn't even plan on doing a show.
Did you finish? I feel like you were talking about something, but you didn't finish what you were talking about. I felt like there was something we were talking about, but no. I guess there wasn't much to say on it. You know, the hit and everything, but
it was an egregious knee on knee. It should have been longer. It shouldn't have been a phone hearing. It should have been an in-person hearing, right? It should have been a video, and they can do an in-person by video, by Zoom, and that's what it should have been.
Yeah,
right?
I absolutely, and like you said, I absolutely agree. I think, like I said, they got to do a better job, man, of keeping these players safe, man. There's too many times where the repeat offenders get away with way too much, and they continue to go out and do stuff like this because they get away with it, because they know they're not going to get punished for it. I mean, you got punished for it. You got 5 games, but I mean that's a piece of cake for what Austin Matthews has to go through. MCL, right? MCL tear, and he ends his season. So
I do think that if you injure a player, right, with something like this, an intent to injure, or something that comes out that way, you should have almost a dual suspension, right? You should have a suspension where you lose your paycheck, and I get that, his pay, and then you should have a suspension where you don't lose all your paycheck, but you should be out as long as the player you injured is out. At least that year. I mean, if you take somebody out of his career, then it's harder for me to say that I agree with that. But if it's for seasonal, like I think if you hit a player, and it's thought of as an egregious hit, you get the maximum that the CBA gets you, and then you actually, as long as that player's out, until that player comes back, you're out. But here's you can get some of your pay. Let's say you get 50% of your pay, and the rest goes. But the other thing is that while you're out, your cap hit stays. Right? Mm-hmm. They can bring somebody up, but your cap hit stays.
So I'm following you here on this one. My thing with that logic, though, is then we're going to get into the gray area of how we've seen, and I hate to bring it up again, how we've seen officiating, done this year, how it's been inconsistent. If you're gonna do that, and that's fine. I actually don't mind that logic. But then you get into the gray area of, was it intentional or was it not?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna run into a whole other shitstorm where there's gonna be something that happens that clearly was intentional, and they're gonna deem it was not intentional, or vice versa. So, although I love the logic, I love the outside the box thinking. I'm just thinking of just the simplistic stuff now that they can't even get consistent.
Oh,
so
I agree.
Imagine if they do something like that. That's gonna be like opening a new world to them. So, but no, I love the logic. I loved it, but that's just my thoughts on that.
I'm not saying that there's issues with it. I'm not saying that there's stuff that needs to be worked out, especially with the NHLPA. They're almost never going to buy it.
Yeah.
Right. But the other thing that I think should be done, instead of the maximum fine being a dollar amount, like a $5,000, I think it should be a percentage amount. Right. Like you can fine a player up to 5% or 10% or 2% or 1% of his contract. Right. That way you're really, a $5,000 fine to a guy making $7 million a year. He's not even that's lunch.
Yeah. I don't like the fine. I really don't like the fine. The fines are interesting. They, like you said, I'm with you 100%. They need to find a way to where they stop giving out these cookie crumb freaking fines. That's not going to do anything to these players. You need to make it to where this needs to stop happening in the league as much.
You take 5% from a player. Now you're talking about something that hurts.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
You know,
I think you should. I think you absolutely should, because then players who may be okay with doing it now will not be that okay with doing it, because it'll be more of a loss for them in the end.
This is the way I would do it. Now you can't. First fine, you take 1% for 5 games. The max fine is 5% for 10 games, because you can't take 5% for the whole season. That's just too much.
Yeah.
But you take it out of the game check, and you get to a point where you can get that number higher, to where you can go up to 50% for 20 games. For agreed, or you get to the point where you're when you're suspending the guy, he loses his whole paycheck for that period. But you start making it hurt. That's how you take it out of the game.
Yeah.
You make it hurt. If it doesn't hurt, it's not coming out of the game.
You know what's crazy? It's crazy now that as fans and media, we can look at a play and we can say, "Oh man, that was absolutely egregious and that was horrendous and that looked terrible." With this knee on knee, this was obviously blatant. This was so obviously intent to injure here. But I go back and I look at, I don't remember who the player was. Do you remember when the guy, and this was over the line. This was back in the day, man, when hockey was just absolutely just going nuts. But like the literally the swing, I
don't remember the player, but he was an absolute goon. Well, that one had an added.
Yeah, that had legal ramifications to it.
Well, no, but that also had an added variable to it that I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know what you're talking about. There was something also that was added to that I just don't want to get into. You and me can talk about it offline, and then we can look it up and maybe talk about it Sunday a little bit or whatever. But yeah, we'll hold off on that for offline. We're at an hour 30, man, for a day when we weren't supposed to have a show. So I got one question for you, Dustin.
All right, dude.
How do we end the show?
Think we need the girls. Where are the girls at?
What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo. And I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
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 So now I have to ask, the Blue Note Fan Report's favorite question is, are you ready for the question? Yes, I want to know. Everyone out there, are you ready for the question? Justin, are you ready for the question?
I'm ready for the question.
Who's late for dinner?
Where are the boys? Where are they at?
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for my brave co-host, Justin Eagle Eye Scott, saying thank you for watching the Blue Note Fan Report on this impromptu evening. We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. We respect you. Big old thank you to Jeremy Brander, Chris Thompson, Jason McMillan, Norm Keller, Edward Lusick, Kat Dieterman, Mom, E. Guido, Stephanie Broski, and Aaron Nels for putting them thumbs in the air like they really, really do care. We will see you next time on the Blue Note Fan Report. This is Guy and Justin saying aloha and mahalo. And you know that I am bleeding blue with you.
And as always, Thomas Haters, this is for you. Let's go Blues.